It was adrenaline. It was anticipation. It was fear. It was not knowing if I was going to answer the door to, gorgeous women or handcuffs.
Your director of the doc, Andrew, had mentioned to me, I think you were at Magic Mountain, 11 years old.
It's a thing that he cut out. It's a thing that he cut out, yeah.
And
yeah.
Three women.
Gorgeous young ladies, yeah.
Kissed your dad.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. I could see them hatching their plan, like in a little circle right over there, and getting the courage to make the approach, and I'd seen it a lot with people wanting autographs or a picture, and I thought they were going to do the same thing, and I couldn't really hear what the dialogue was between Dad and the three gals, but I guess it was they said, "This is what we want to do," and he was like, "Sure," not in a creepy way, and I didn't, and then I say, "Okay, they're going in for a kiss," and I thought it was a cheek thing, and it was like right on the lips, 3 in a row. And I'm like, hold on a second. I saw that as like, okay, there's another part of it.
And you remember how that affected you?
Oh yeah. It's like I gotta, find a way to, acquire some of that magic sauce. Yeah, it was cool to see.
Tell about Candy and the time together.
Candy was a complete fantasy. I know it happened, and I know she existed because of the fallout from it. Was that Dad got the credit card receipt, and there's this charge. I was in the living room watching TV. It's like midday, and it's the old like a MasterCard billing statement, and he just during a drive-by, he doesn't even stop. He just drops it in front of me. And there's arrows pointing to this $200 charge. And there's just one question, what's this? With a question mark. And then he walks all the way back to his office in the back of the house. And so I'm looking at it like, oh, and I thought about, what story can I build? What crazy alibi can I try to sell him that he's gonna know is complete bullshit, So that was kind of a long walk back there. And then it turned into a 2-hour lecture. About sex versus love, and when there's money involved, it's not this, and it's just like, all right, okay, got it. I was just going to agree with anything just for the lecture to end.
You wrote, the feeling I'd get from the gate buzz or doorbell when the girls arrived was like 100 Christmas mornings all at once in my favorite age from childhood.
What's that age, you're wondering?
Explain that.
But how do you explain that? How do you put words to that feeling that I put words to? It was adrenaline. It was anticipation. It was fear. It was excitement. It was
unknown. I think.
Yeah, because I also follow that up with also not knowing if I was going to answer the door to, gorgeous women or handcuffs. Anytime you roll those dice, you don't know if someone's been infiltrated on the other end or if someone. And it's interesting the way that played out, that I always kind of had that fear that it was going to go bad eventually.
Why do you think you had that fear?
Because I knew I was breaking the law. You can debate, the validity of that law, but it's still, it has a penal code attached to it. No pun intended. So that was low-hanging fruit, sorry. Yeah, but it was cool when it wasn't handcuffs. And it never was, because that never happened on my end. That was all the that went down at base camp,
Was that more exciting companionship to you than a girlfriend or a lover?
Different type of excitement, for sure. Yeah, because it wasn't, we didn't have the internet. So it wasn't like you're going through a bunch of photos. You just had to take somebody's word, and Heidi's word was golden,
Heidi Fleiss.
Yeah.
How do you view her?
I have no ill will because she didn't really she did nothing wrong to me. And, it was kind of strange to hear it, how she put it in the documentary that, she made it sound like Sheen ratted me out and I went to prison. There's like a whole kind of middle section that she left out,
Okay, explain that.
Well, she didn't go to prison because she sent me girls. She went to prison because she didn't pay the taxes on the money that she made from sending those girls.
Because that's what they went after.
They didn't care about this misdemeanor nonsense. They cared about, this was like Treasury Department,
Something that you didn't completely get into in the book was you talked about, though, had you had to do that period over in terms of interacting with the government,
Right.
you would have handled it differently.
I would have eaten it.
You would have?
I would have, yeah.
Why?
Because that's easier to live with than being a rat. I wasn't a rat by choice. I was a rat because I was kind of. They stuck me in a room with no doors, basically, and that's what they do when they, when their star witness has the goods on their prime suspect.
There's just you didn't see any other way out.
There was no other way out. Yeah, and it felt like a bridge too far. With the consequences.
It was a lot of time in jail that could have been possible.
Threatened. Never would have happened.
You don't think so?
Never would have happened. Not a chance. No, because that would have involved all of my friends rolling on me, which just wasn't. They weren't going to do.
There was a moment in Toronto that you just, had with the prostitute where you knew that was kind of
Right.
end of the line. What is it about that moment that caused you to just say, I'm done?
Well, there was no dope in the mix. There was no booze in the mix. So it was like in that moment I realized, okay, those things really kind of make these moments better, make them more fun, make them more just acceptable. It didn't fit sober. It felt awkward sober. And it was just one of those moments that I kind of sat down inside and was like, okay, all right, let's make this decision and stick to it,